Would you like to start a business where you instantly get exposure to 80% of your potential customers? That's exactly what happened with Zelle. Zelle was launched by a consortium of 1,800 banks and credit unions in the US. In most cases, they made it available to their customers within the bank's app. So I could easily access it within, say, my Bank of America app. Pretty much everyone got to try Zelle. With that kind of institutional backing and support, Zelle should have dominated the market. And it did initially. But in the last 5 years, it has steadily lost market share and number of active users have declined. In terms of payment processing, it now only has 0.17% of the market share. That particular market is dominated by Shopify payments, Klarna, and Amazon payments. And in terms of app downloads, it ranks way below all other comparable apps. The struggles of Zelle is an interesting case study on why a business that may look even perfect on paper may still struggle to succeed in the actual market space. In this video, let's look at the thought process behind creation of Zelle and then talk about the actual problems that is impeding its adoption by the wide user base. Zelle was introduced in 2017 as a peer-to-peer payment system known as P2P. It's jointly owned by 7 major banks. Those include Bank of America, Truist, Capital One, JP Morgan Chase, PNC Bank, US Bank, and Wells Fargo. Now here is the kicker. Unlike standalone P2P companies like Venmo from PayPal or cashapp from Block, Zelle is not an independent company looking for its own independent revenue stream. Instead, it just works within that consortium of banks which are collaborating among themselves. That makes it unique. The motive behind Zelle's creation was simple. The banks wanted to offer an easy and secure solution for individuals to be able to transfer money between their bank accounts. So the goal was to replicate the convenience offered by the P2P services like Venmo and Cash App, but keep the user within the secure banking ecosystem. And the banks recognized the importance of providing this service to everyone so that users of their banks, regardless of their adaptability to new technology or apps, are able to do these transfers seamlessly. And the banks had tried this in the past, but what was different this time is that Zelle was following a free model. And this was very important because in the past when banks tried to do something, they were trying to charge their customers for services which was often available for free from other platforms like PayPal. So this time, they learned from their past and decided to offer Zelle for free. For a user, setting up Zelle is very simple. You can do it either through your bank's website or mobile app or use Zelle's own mobile app. Most of the major banks offer Zelle, so I think you can just use it from within their banking app. But if your banking institution does not offer Zelle, you can still use Zelle through its dedicated mobile app. The USP of Zelle is that amazing experience or the seamless experience that the customer has when money arrives directly in your bank account. Zelle's inability to win over competition can directly be traced to one core problem: inability to win user trust. See, in just 2021, an approximate $400 million was reported lost to fraudulent activities by the users of Zelle. And the problem is, banks are not addressing this issue adequately on their websites or apps. So Zelle has positioned itself as a very easy and convenient way to transfer money across family and friends, across different banks. But when a fraudulent transaction or a scam happens, users have often struggled to find any recourse with their banks. So one of the main challenges that even if the transaction is a fraud or a scam, the transaction happens when the bank considers it to be authorized by the account holder, making it very difficult to reverse such transaction. There is no third party involved like a credit card or anybody or a PayPal for that matter. Here transactions are happening directly with the bank account. In such scenarios, it becomes very difficult for victims to get their money back. Fraudsters use many techniques such as phishing, money mule scams, or just simple impersonating as another user or an official to scam Zelle users. Let's talk about the phishing attacks, which are very, very common. This trick tries to get the users to enter their personal and account information, either by convincing them to enter it on a fake form or a fake website, or through some legitimate sounding emails. Once that information is obtained by the fraudster, say your bank account ID and password, then that information is used by the fraudster to perpetuate the scam. Sometimes these fraudsters impersonate the bank employees and they'll call the victim, tell them about a scam that already happened on their account, and then offer to help them by helping them send the money back to their account. So while the victim thinks they're sending money back to themselves, this money is in fact going to somebody else's account. In a money mule scam, the fraudsters recruit the victim to transfer money on their behalf. Such victims are recruited through either social media or fake job postings, and they often unknowingly facilitate the transfer of illicit funds that may open them to even criminal inquiry and of course loss of funds. One example is a fraudster posing as a buyer on a platform like eBay or Facebook Marketplace where you are trying to sell something. The fraudster would offer to pay you through Zelle and then offer some sort of scam or wrong confirmation of payment and then force you to quickly return the excess payment that they might have made by mistake. I've also seen such posting on platforms like Craigslist, where they will do some fake posting on, say, apartments for rent, and where they will ask the victims to make some down payment or application fee and send them to them through Zelle, and then the fraudster will disappear. The main issue is that Zelle does not offer a fraud protection program. Payments, once authorized by the users, cannot be returned. And Zelle explicitly states that it is not going to refund the payments made by users, even in case of fraud. This lack of protection contributes to the problem faced by victims of fraud on Zelle. The concerns surrounding Zelle, particularly on fraud and security, has even caught attention of Congress. A Senate report revealed that 4 of the 7 banks owning Zelle have reported significant fraud activities. This lack of user protection and increased instances of fraud have triggered discussions around the need for more regulatory response and security measures within this peer-to-peer payment industry. Banks which are integral to the Zelle network typically have good policies in place for fraud transactions within the banks. However, Zelle's unique characteristics like instant transactions, non-reversible transactions make it very difficult for banks to offer similar guarantees and refunds in case of scams on Zelle. This stands in huge contrast with other platforms that Zelle is trying to compete with. For example, PayPal. PayPal offers extensive fraud control mechanisms to its users. The rise in Zelle fraud and scams can be attributed to its widespread adoption, the real-time characteristics, lack of user knowledge, and finally, challenges associated with reversing unauthorized transactions. As concerns rise in Congress and users grapple with limitations with Zelle's security, there is a very evident need for a balance between convenience and security, particularly when it comes to peer-to-peer networks like Zelle. But does that mean that you should stop using peer-to-peer networks like Zelle? No, of course not. These P2P apps have revolutionized how we handle money, and they offer a lot of convenience and often additional financial features. Let us take a quick look at what other platforms are out there and how they compare with Zelle. We'll start this list with Zelle itself. Zelle is best suited for instant bank transfer. Its ability to have seamless transfer between US bank account is unparalleled. It's backed by major banks, so it makes it very simple and convenient. It's fast and it has no fee. Zelle generally works best if you're trying to transfer money between friends and family, people who you generally know. Here are its key differentiators. Instant US bank account-to-account transfer, supported by over 1700 banks and credit unions. You can easily send money to a phone number or an email address. Zelle is very well integrated with banks' apps. And the best part, there is no transaction fee for individuals. Now let's look at other P2P platforms to see how they compare with Zelle and what are they best suited for. First is PayPal. My opinion, it's best suited for very frequent transfers. As you all know, PayPal is the biggest P2P platform in the world. It's one of the first mainstream providers in the P2P space. Today, it has more than 431 million users across the world. PayPal is one of the top choices for freelancers or people who sell their services online. It also works very well if you are frequently sending money to friends and family. If you buy goods online, including on eBay, PayPal is a very good platform for sending payments for that too. So what are its key differentiators? Huge network of active accounts. It's the most known brand name, so very trustworthy. Excellent fraud protection and support, very different from Zelle. And like I said, it's excellent for frequent transfers, online payments. Next on our list is Venmo. Venmo is best suited for transaction among friends, and that's why it's very popular among young users, among the college crowd. It has a social feature that makes sending payments among friends and family fun and casual. It's frequently used when a group of friends does some purchase or goes out to eat and they want to quickly split payments. So what are its key differentiators? You can do easy purchase and payments through supported merchants, which are many in US. The social and interactive feed is a very good differentiator that Venmo has. Its adoption is very high among young users. So if you are among that young crowd, you can quickly say, let's Venmo it, let's split it among ourselves using Venmo. It's very well adopted there. Next is cashapp. Cashapp has created a different niche for itself, where it is combining these P2P payment features with investing. So apart from sending money to each other, spending and buying stuff, users can also buy and sell Bitcoin on cashapp. So it's slowly gaining traction among young users. It has about 4.5 million users as of 2023. Key differentiators: cashapp allows for direct deposit of paycheck into cashapp, pretty much like a bank account. You can buy and sell Bitcoin. And they have a cash boost program that offers different discounts with retailers that partner with cashapp. Finally, let's round up by talking about Google Pay. Among the P2P apps, I think Google Pay is best for international transfers. It provides a simple way to send money online or even in physical stores. It's a pretty robust solution and it's backed by Google. It supports peer-to-peer payments in about 74 countries. So what are its key differentiators? Strong reputation and reliability of Google. You can send and receive money both domestically as well as internationally. You can use it to do in-app and online purchases as well as in-store physical purchases. Finally, on the same app, you can store loyalty cards, tickets, etc. So while Zelle offers a very convenient way to transfer money between bank accounts, users need to be mindful of security considerations. The platform is very well suited if all you're doing is transaction between family and friends or even known service providers. But using Zelle for transaction with unfamiliar parties poses grave risk at this time. The platform has a lot of promise, but looks like at this time, Zelle is content with focusing on peer-to-peer transfer between known contacts. If you like this video, check out this other video that I have made on my channel. I would also appreciate if you can give a like to this video and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.